A man lies unconscious on a table, completely exposed and vulnerable. Around him, 8 demonic creatures torment him. One of them blows a trumpet directly into his ear, while another bites his foot. 2 more hold surgical instruments, as if we are witnessing the beginning of a macabre experiment. The artist behind this painting was Richard Tennant Cooper, a man who lived through the horrors of the First World War, and, through his paintings, sought to show the world the devastating consequences of the diseases that plagued his time. Cholera, typhus, syphilis, and not just the physical toll of these illnesses, but also the psychological suffering that accompanied those who endured them. But what kind of illness could make a man feel tormented by tiny demons? What could he have witnessed on the battlefield that led him to create such a terrifying vision? Born in Kent in 1885, Richard Tennant Cooper developed much of his artistry in Paris, but eventually returned to England, where he created the series of paintings on disease that we will discuss today. The terror and repulsion are palpable in each of his works, and some of them, reflecting the beliefs of that time, even suggest women as responsible for the transmission of diseases such as syphilis, which historically carried a significant social stigma. That so-called Femme Fatale we have often discussed in previous videos. His career began with painting posters for the Automobile Association in England, promoting road safety. However, his style changed completely after World War I. In 1914, Cooper volunteered for the British Army and, during the war, rose through the ranks to become a captain in the Royal Engineers. His contributions were recognized with the title of MBE, Military Division, for his work in camouflage alongside Solomon J. Solomon, as well as his role as an official war artist for The Graphic. This period was crucial to his evolution as an artist. Cooper transitioned from creating informational posters to painting war scenes with themes that were grim, dark, and utterly devoid of solace. His paintings are suffused with an all-encompassing darkness. Most of these were painted in the 1920s after his return from the war. He clung to the memories of the carnage and bloodshed he had witnessed to create works like this one. Among Cooper's works, this is undoubtedly one of the most recognizable. Its title is An Unconscious Naked Man Lying on a Table Being Attacked by Little Demons Armed with Surgical Instruments. In this painting, Cooper did not depict a specific disease but rather the effects of chloroform on the human body. Chloroform was extensively used during World War I as an anesthetic for emergency surgical procedures. In a conflict where war wounds were devastating and medical conditions precarious, this compound became an indispensable tool. While it offered relief from extreme pain, its use often came with profound and terrifying side effects: hallucinations, delirium, and, in some cases, a semi-conscious state where patients seemed trapped between life and death. Cooper, who worked as a war artist during this period, had direct exposure to the harshest realities of military medicine. This painting, with its explicit symbolism, appears to capture those experiences. The demons tormenting the man in the painting are not merely imaginary figures, they represent the physical and psychological consequences of chloroform. Each creature seems to embody an aspect of human suffering. The trumpet blaring in his ear could symbolize the deafening noise and mental chaos that the anesthetic might induce. The surgical instruments in the demon's hands suggest the invasiveness of the medical procedures of the time, often performed under desperate conditions. While the demon biting the man's foot might reflect the pain that didn't always vanish, even under anesthesia, or perhaps it is simply another way to torment this poor man. The painting's dark, empty background intensifies the feeling of isolation and despair. The man is completely exposed, vulnerable not only to the demons surrounding him, but also to the medical system of his time. This stark contrast between scientific progress and human torment is a recurring theme in Cooper's works, as he did not shy away from portraying the rawest aspects of medicine. As in this other painting titled Syphilis, where Cooper depicts a sex worker alongside death. The scene shows a man leaving the room naked, having just been infected with a disease that will likely end his life soon. He approaches, ashamed and covering his face, a gathering of men who are already infected by the same disease and share his doomed fate. Typhus was also one of the most devastating diseases during the First World War. Transmitted mainly by lice, it affected millions of soldiers and civilians who lived in overcrowded and unsanitary conditions. In this painting, Cooper represents Typhus through the figure of an angel of death. This being pours a dark liquid into the water, symbolizing the spread of the disease. The act of contaminating the water reflects how epidemics at that time spread rapidly due to poor hygiene and precarious living conditions. Finally, let's take a look at this striking work together. In it, we see a young girl lying in her bed, her face serene, almost innocent. But looming over her is a spectral figure, a ghostly skeleton extending its hands toward her neck as if attempting to strangle her. The scene is filled with tension and symbolism, while the setting of the room, with everyday objects like a steaming kettle and an alarmed cat, contrasts with the terrifying presence of death. What disease do you think might be represented in this painting? Leave your answer in the comments. Perhaps the skeleton is revealing more than it seems. I'll read your thoughts below. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more paintings by this artist, you'll find a link in the description where you can browse a catalogue with over 400 carefully selected works by this artist and many others, so you can collect them for your home. Now you can have an exact reproduction of your favorite painting. Shipping is free worldwide, and you can also purchase it as a phone case. By shopping in the store, not only will you receive a timeless piece of art, but you'll also be supporting me to continue creating videos like this one. Thank you for your support. See you in the next video.